Welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a phone in Blender using hard surface modeling. We will be using a non-destructive workflow as this is easiest to work around. Hope you enjoy the video, and please consider subscribing. So here in our default layout we have the default cube and the light, so we want to delete those. And we want to do Shift A and add a plane. Now we want to scale this on the X axis, holding Control to scale it and snap it. Now if we go into here, we can make it rotate and scale. Now it will snap to whatever action we make. Okay, let's go into face select mode, hit E to extrude, bring it up a bit, holding Control to snap. Let's come into the side view here, let's bring it up. Now we want to go into edge select and hold Shift and select every edge. Now we want to hold Shift and B to bevel those edges. The more we scroll, the more vertices we'll have. Now in edge select, we want to Alt Shift select the top and the bottom, Control B to bevel that. Right click, shade smooth, go into normals and auto smooth. Let's go into the top view and inset the top face by pressing I. Let's extrude that down by pressing E and inset it a bit. I'm going to scale it down a bit. And add in a cube. This is going to be our cutter tool using a Boolean modifier. I'm going to move it into place. Like so. I'm going to bevel the edges. Now I'm going to come into the modifiers tab, add modifier and Boolean modifier. Now here we are going to select our cube object. We can do the same by pressing this eyedropper and clicking on the cube. It doesn't look like it's doing much, but if we go into wireframe mode we can see that there's new geometry on the phone. So if we apply that modifier and we move it away, we can see that there's a hole in the phone. Come into solid view mode, look. If we change it to intersect, we can see that only the part inside the cube is actually showing. So if we set this to bounds, we can see that only the part intersecting is showing. If we press H to hide that, and if we press this camera in the top here, and we press that to hide that from the render. Now we won't see this in the render, and if we shade this smooth. Now let's add a cylinder. We're going to be making the speakers at the bottom of the phone. Let's come into this view, and bring them to the side a bit. We want to bring them out, not too far in, and scale it up. We want to duplicate this multiple times, holding Control to snap it. Now we want to hold Shift and select every object and duplicate that to the other side of the phone. Now if we select them all and press Ctrl J, we join them into one mesh. Now if we apply a boolean, we only have to apply it to that one mesh. If we do the same with the other side, if we change these to wire and hide them by pressing H, and hide them from the radio as well. Now we want to shift duplicate this and separate it by selection by right clicking. Now this is its own separate object. What we can do now is bring it over here. And you can see that its origin is not in the middle, so we want to right click, set origin to geometry. And now when we scale, it will be in the center of the object. This will be our headphone jack. Let's move this to the side a bit. Now we're going to be making our power button on the side here. If we X-ray mode and come into vertices select and we press C, we select all objects and middle mouse button to deselect. If we hit B, we select, and now we press G and X, we make it longer. We apply the boolean. However, if we go into edit mode on the phone base, you can see that there is no cut. This is because we have not applied the modifier. So if we go ahead and apply it, we can see the geometry on the phone. If we come into the side view here and into edit mode, you can see the cut. And now if we inset it and we extrude that out a bit, bring it out a bit more. Now if we bevel that face and make it smooth, now if we select this and we bring it out a bit, I'm going to scale it a bit, however only on the x-axis, not on the y. Do that by holding Shift and Y to scale on anything but the y-axis. Shade that smooth. And I did the same on the other side here. As you can see, we have our volume buttons. Now I'm going to select the bottom, hold Control plus multiple times, and that will select everything up, and Control minus to deselect. I'm going to make this a base material. I'm going to give it new, assign it, deselect, and make sure that that's the material. Now here we can see that this isn't, so we want to apply this. Let's name this metal, and let's make another material called black. If we alt select this loop of faces and we assign this black, That will give it a background effect. Let's do the same with the other sides. Let's inset this and bring it out. This is the headphone jack. Let's make the speakers black. Let's make this a screen. And let's alt select these. And make this a shiny black. Now we have applied everything to our textures. Now we want to give them a texture. We want to go into the viewport shading mode. And now we can give it a color and we can actually see it. So let's give this a blue metallic color. Let's bring up the metallic. We can see that it looks metallic and shiny. Let's give it a darker blue. Now let's make the black a black, however not completely black. Let's give this a darker grey and a shiny black. Bring the roughness down to make it more shiny. And let's give the screen a temporary surface. We will replace the screen with an actual phone screen. Now we can see that we've got to apply this, so let's Ctrl plus and add this to the metal. Let's look around and see if we've done that. It looks good. So now we're going to rotate it on the X by 180 degrees and we want to add a camera. So let's start off with a cylinder. Let's scale that down and bring it over here. Now we want to go into vertically select and we want to B and select these and bring that out. G, X and bring it down. You can make your camera however you want, however I'm going to make a vertical camera. I need to scale this down on the Z to make it flatter. And I'm going to shade that smooth and auto smooth. Now I'm going to inset that face. And I'm going to extrude that down, not completely, just above. There we go. Now let's Ctrl plus and add this. And now we want to Ctrl plus this and give this its own material. However, let's loop cut and give it its own texture. We're going to give it a camera black and give it a black. We're also going to turn the roughness down to make it shiny. We forgot to apply, so let's assign that. Let's go into edge select, alt select and scale that out. Scale that on the Y as well. Alt select, press F to fill and give this its own texture. Let's give it a glass. I'm going to hide that. However, in object mode we can still see it, we only hid it in edit mode. Let's select the bottom face, Ctrl S cursor to selected and add a sphere. Let's scale this on the Z. These will be our actual cameras. Let's bring this down. What I did is I changed this to alpha hashed and to none, and I brought the alpha down to about 300 and the transmission all the way up. Here we have our glass effect. Now I'm going to L to select all of these. I'm going to delete them and I'm going to Separate this by selection, make it its own object. I'm going to assign it its own material. I made this material previously. I'm going to edit mode and A and assign. If I shade smooth, we can see it looks like a camera lens. I gave it a blue color, I turned the roughness down, alpha blend none, and transmission up a bit. Now we're going to loop cut, and we're going to extrude, scale, and bring it up, and extrude that down and scale that. You can experiment with this and make it look your own. I'm just going to add it a simple black. Assign that and duplicate that all the way down. You can change the shape, the color, the size. Align them how you want, scale them to their own size. I added another lens inside this to make it have an effect. I'm going to bring these down. You can see I also added a microphone and a flash. I'm going to bring this and scale it. I assigned the flash an emission shader. I'm going to select everything and I'm going to parent it to the phone, selecting the phone last. Now whenever I rotate it, it rotates together. So let's rotate it 180 degrees on the x-axis. Now let's give the screen its texture. So let's go into the shading tab. We're going to add an image texture node. Let's delete the principled. We are going to open this image. You can choose any image you want. I'm going to plug this into emission. Plug my image in there. And Control T to add a mapping and a texture coordinate node. Now you can see if I scale this, it scales the image. If you don't have this option, go into Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and search for the Node Wrangler option and turn that on. You can see the location affects where it moves. I'm going to move it up. And here's a simple screen. You can add whatever you want. And here's a basic phone. You can add whatever detail you wish. I made a scene for this. I added some lighting and a background. As you can see, I added a different screen to mine. And I added some more detail, including my own branding. Please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, or donate me on Patreon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.